Hello everyone, welcome to Babylon Leather's official channel. Today, we're going to make this cell phone crossbody bag. Now is the finished project show. First, let's check all the materials. There are 2 hardware materials and 8 leather materials. A long shoulder strap. Get these 3 materials and put them like this. Firstly, let's distinguish the front and back of the materials. The one with larger pinholes is the front side, and the one with smaller pinholes is the back side. Find this material. Measure the thread 4 times the length of the sewn part, then cut it off. Each time you could measure the thread a little more. The thread is absolutely enough. Thread the needles. Pass the thread through the needle eye. Then pull out a section. Let the needle point to pierce the thread. Pull it tight. Now it is done. Thread the other needle in the same way. Get these 2 materials and align the pinholes in this way. Let the 2 materials front side up. Start sewing from the first pinhole. Let the needle from the bottom to top. Sew the 2 materials firstly. Then let the second needle pass through the second pinhole. Pull the 2 threads, keep them in the same length. Let the first needle pass through the second pinhole. Don't pierce the thread. Pull the thread tight. Now we successfully start the stitching. Then keep sewing with the double needle stitching method. Don't miss any pinhole. Don't pierce the thread. After sewing up each stitch, pull it tight. When swinging the thread by hand, the direction should be consistent. Finally, let's end the stitching and deal with the thread ends. Make a backstitch to reinforce it. Now let both needles on the material's back side. Finally, let the thread end in the gap between the two materials. Cut the thread leaving a 3 mm end. Burn off the thread ends with a lighter. Sew up the other side in the same way. Let's check the two sides sewn up effect. Find this material, the back side is probably black. Get the two hardware. Measure the thread 6 times the length of the sewn part. Thread the needles. First install the hardware like this to the place where there is no hole in the material, and then fold it in half. Start sewing from the first pinhole, then keep sewing with the double needle sewing method. When sewing to here, install the other hardware in the same way. Sew up the whole circle. After sewing up each stitch, pull it tight. When swinging the thread by hand, the direction should be consistent. Don't miss any pinhole. Don't pierce the thread. Pay attention to these points every time you sew. No more hints later. Finally, let's end the stitching and deal with the thread ends. Find this material, Measure the thread 4 times the length of the sewn part. Thread the needles. Start sewing from the first pinhole, then single sew this row. Finally, let the thread ends on the back side and end the stitching. Let's check the sewn up effect. Find this material, use the same method to single sew the top row of pinholes. Find these 3 materials. Measure the thread 8 times the length of the sewn part. Thread the needles. First, put this sewn material on the back side of the bag lid. Note that the 2 materials back to back, front facing out. Get the handle material and combine like this. Note that the bag lid and handle materials are facing up. Start sewing from the first pinhole, then keep sewing with the double needle stitching method. Finally, cut the thread and let the thread end on the material's back side. Stop at the 4th from the last pinhole. Combine the material on the other side, then sew up the whole circle. Finally, cut the thread and let the thread end on the material's back side. Let's check the sewn up effect. Measure the thread 4 times the length of the sewn part. Thread the needles. Start sewing from the first pinhole, then keep sewing with the double needle stitching method. Stop when sewing to this pinhole. Find this piece. Align the pinholes on the 2 materials, then sew up the left pinholes. Finally, cut the thread and let the thread end on the material's back side. Let the 2 materials front side up. Let's check the sewn up effect. Measure the thread 8 times the length of the sewn part. Thread the needles. Find the marker hole on the left side of the side piece. The marker hole is larger than other holes. Start sewing from the marker hole, then keep sewing upwards. Note that the marker hole should be aligned with the first pinhole in the front piece, and the side piece is on top of the front piece. Sew the corner normally. Here is not very easy to sew. Please be patient. The marker hole here should be aligned with the side piece and bottom overlap pinhole. If it is not right, is sewn wrong. After sewing the front piece, single sew forward normally. When sewing to the next marker hole, sew in the same way, adding the back piece. Note that the side material is still on the outside. Finally, let's end the stitching and deal with the thread ends. This wonderful bag is complete now. Organize the shape of the bag. Well, thanks for choosing Babylon Leather. Thanks for watching. Hope you get more skills here.